Okay, so last night the Toronto Raptors defeated the Golden State Warriors in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and it was a really great game by Pascal Siakam. He showed how versatile and how valuable he can be to the team. And as usual, Kawhi Leonard did his usual thing where he went quiet, but he still played a significant impact on the team. Now, I watched pretty much all of Undisputed with Skip and Shannon this morning. I really didn't have that much time on my hands, I really didn't have that much to do, so I had a lot of time on my hands, so I watched the show. This is the first time in a long time that I've watched the show from beginning to end, or from beginning to almost the end. And Skip being the kind of person that he is, which I'm gonna do a video about that later. Skip being the kind of person that he is, he didn't like last night's performance by Kawhi Leonard. He thought that Kawhi was non-existent. He wasn't as valuable as people make him out to be. The same flaky guy in San Antonio showed up last night. That was his opinion. But even if a superstar player is double teamed and pretty much puts up like 0 to 10 points when they're used to averaging 20 to 25, but they can only get up to maybe 10 points and they're double teamed the entire night. That double team takes a guy off of somebody else, which frees them up. So you're still playing a significant impact. It's all on how you look at it. And I think he had a pretty good game last night. I think he helped his team win. And another story, obviously, last night was Drake. And, him and Draymond pretty much having, war to words. And I made a video about this before this whole Drake situation where I said that it's a little uncomfortable as a person that watches the NBA. It's a little uncomfortable to see a fan at the game put their hands on an NBA head coach during the game, putting his hands on his shoulders and massaging his shoulders. It's kind of like, where's the line that used to be there? That line that used to be there where the players, they had to have limited interactions with the fans, and the fans couldn't have any physical interactions with anybody on the floor. Like, where's that line at? When you have a fan, I don't care who it is. It could be goddamn Jesus Christ come out from the sky, go to a goddamn Raptors game. I don't want to see Jesus Christ massaging Nick Nurse's shoulders, man. Like, I don't care. I don't care who it is. When you're at the game and you're spectating, you are a fan. Unless you're on the court, you're a player. Unless you're on the sideline, you're probably a coach or a bench player. Or unless you're refereeing the game. You should not have any physical interactions with anybody that's on the floor. Now, I already said that I believe that Drake is trying to become the new Spike Lee. That's like his new aspiration, I think. Spike Lee is one of those guys that can't play the game, doesn't have the physical gifts or size to play the game, but he'll run his mouth and he'll put a battery in the back of the people that can play the game. And that's what Drake wants to be. And somebody pointed, I think it was Jenny, the moderator from Undisputed. Or it might have been the other lady from First Things First. I'm forgetting her name. But one of them stated that he's wearing that armband right there because he has a Steph and I think Clay tattoo on his, or Steph and somebody. He has somebody tattooed on his wrist or on his arm, and he was trying to cover it up last night. I mean, how much of a super fan can he fucking be? Like, honestly, how big of a super fan can you be if two players that don't play for your team, you get them tattooed on your arm? And it's kind of weird that you get anybody's name. Honestly, tattoos are kind of weird, but I'm not going to go into that. But I'm just going to keep it in the realm of getting another man's name, jersey number, whatever, tattooed on your body as a man is fucking weird. It's just weird. It looks weird. So, at the end of the game, and I'm going to try to hurry this up so I can start the video. But at the end of the game, Drake and Draymond had words. And who do I think started it? I think Draymond was already feeling heated about losing the game, and he was walking towards the back, and Drake might have said something, said something sarcastic, or he might have said something, aggressive. Not aggressive like I want to kick your ass, like aggressive like y'all niggas suck or some shit like that. Who knows? A lot of shit is getting, yelled from the crowds. Who knows what's really being said? So Drake said something. I believe Drake said something. Draymond turned around, man. Draymond turned around like Draymond. Draymond has shown himself to be the kind of guy, not to fight, but to at least confront somebody face to face. And he turned around. So I don't know. I wouldn't take it as far as, it went before, but one of the female reporters said that it was a scuffle, and it wasn't, man. It's just two guys having words, man. That's all it was. It was a fan getting rowdy and Draymond trying to put that fan in his place, and that's all it was. It wasn't a scuffle. A scuffle and an altercation are two different things.
Said yesterday that the NBA told Raptors superfan Drake, quote, "There's got to be lines drawn with his antics on the sidelines in the playoffs." Last night, Drake...
I hope that's not the way that they phrased it. When the NBA went to Drake's people, and if Adam Silver really did talk to Drake, you should have told him, look, man, no more getting on the court, no more touching any NBA officials, any NBA players, any NBA coaches, nothing. Don't touch anybody. You keep your hands to yourself. You stay on the sideline. You could jump up and down on the sideline as much as you want. You could say not whatever you want, but you could say anything within a certain bubble to the players without provoking them. But no more trying to insert yourself into the fucking game. Like somebody also, I think it was Shannon or Skip said this, man. Drake is the ambassador for the Raptors. No, Drake is a fucking fan. He's not an ambassador to nothing. And if the Raptors do have this dude as I'm not going to say that they employed him, but if they do have him representing the team, like really representing the team, not being a fan, representing the team. I mean, that's a bad move. I mean, this dude is an attention seeker. He's an attention seeker. That's all he is, and that's all he's doing. All his antics is to keep the cameras on him. It is good for him and his line of work to have the cameras focused on him during the biggest time in the basketball world. The cameras being on Drake is good for Drake. It doesn't matter if it's bad for the NBA, if it's causing disruption to the series. It doesn't matter. It's good for Drake. That's all that matters.
Wearing a Del Curry throwback jersey appeared to listen to that note, but at the end of the game, not so much. Drake got into it with Draymond Green and appeared to call him, quote, trash. Draymond talked about the incident later, but he just didn't want to hear the word scuffle. Take a listen.
Just wanted you to talk a little bit about that post-game scuffle between you and Drake.
You got a question about basketball? It wasn't really a scuffle because I didn't hit him and he didn't hit me, or I didn't push him and he didn't push me. We talked.
And that's what a scuffle is. It's not when you fight somebody. It's when you physically try to intimidate somebody else, and they're trying to physically intimidate you by pushing you, going chest to chest, having war to words, being physically active. That's what a scuffle is. It's not when you're talking back and forth. That's just an argument. And a fight is something different than both of those things. This was not a scuffle. It was just two dudes having words, man. That was it. And it's not like Draymond was going to hit anybody. And it's damn sure not like Drake was going to hit anybody. I mean, it's not like that. And the way Draymond answered this question was perfect, man. It was perfect. It was super fucking mature. It was perfect. Keep it on basketball. Focus on that. If you want to talk about that clown, find somebody else to either talk about it or talk about it under different circumstances, but not at an NBA press conference. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. And he didn't fall for that.
We boxed a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a scuffle. Not really what I personally would consider a scuffle.
Yikes. Shannon, what did you make of the post-game incident?
I would consider that a scuffle to Draymond. I love the way Drake behaved throughout the entirety of the game until the very end.
I heard that he stayed in his seat. He was super non-interruptive, and that was good. It seemed like he heeded the message, or the perceived message, I guess, that Adam Silver was putting out. But at the end of the game, he did run his mouth. I still didn't see anything wrong with what happened at the end of the game. It is what it is. I mean, if you ask Russell Westbrook, man, after every fucking game on the road, you have to deal with rowdy fans that think that they can beat you or think that you can't do shit to them. Otherwise, you'll lose money. So they just run their mouth and they do whatever. And, you know, talk to Russell Westbrook about that, man, because he knows all about that. So that's all it was. I didn't really see anything wrong with this shit, man.
Skip, I believe this should be beneath Drake because we keep saying he's a fan.
Nothing is beneath Drake. I'm not going to say Drake is a clout chaser. I really don't like using that term anyway, but under certain circumstances, it's very valid. But it's not valid in this situation because Drake has the clout. He has the attention. He has the fame. You know, anybody that's attacking him would be considered clout chasers because he's the one that's on top. He's the one that has all the attention, and people would be trying to take that attention away from him, and that's what we'll consider them clout chasers. But Drake is an attention whore. That's all he is. He's a guy whose brand is built on attention. When you talk to any of these rappers starting out, or any rappers that's coming up currently, the most important thing to their brand, the most important thing for their music, the most important thing for their art of any kind is attention. That's why when people make movies and they go to do these interviews and stuff, it's so they could draw attention and interest to the movie. That's all it. Attention is very important. Because if people are ignoring what the fuck you're doing, or if people don't give a shit about what you're doing, it's bad for you. That's how you not make money. Like, it's important. Getting attention is how you make your money. And that's what Drake is trying to do, man. Drake is trying to keep his name in the media. When Drake have these beefs, even if he loses, he wins. Because he just wants the attention. That's it. That's all he wants. He doesn't care. He just wants the attention. Somebody else said this. I forgot who it was. But it was a long time ago with the whole Drake and Pusha T thing. Drake just wants the attention, man. He don't give a fuck.
Also the ambassador. He's also basically an affiliate. He's also personnel of the Raptors. That should be beneath him, Skip, baby. He's not the guy that works 9 to 5 or the female that works 9 to 5 and goes to the game and yell and scream. That's one thing. But a guy worth $150 million carrying on like this, Skip, don't you think that should be beneath Drake?
No.
It should be. Can you imagine? I couldn't imagine Denzel doing that. Can you imagine Denzel? What about...
You're comparing Drake to Denzel. They just come across as two different people, man. It's not even the same thing. It's not even the same thing now. If Drake did something so egregious that you had to compare him to somebody that, like if you would have said, oh man, I would never see Spike Lee massaging the shoulders of Pat Riley. Spike Lee and Drake are pretty much the same person in this situation. They're the loudmouth fans that think that their role in their team is bigger than it actually is. If you would have compared him to Spike Lee, that would have been different. But you can't, because when Denzel goes to Laker games, I'm pretty sure you don't hear Denzel's name unless they're saying, "Oh, look, there go Denzel sitting in the third row, enjoying the game. It looks like he's enjoying. It looked like he's enjoying himself." And that's it. You don't hear about him. Oh, Denzel's going out on the court. Oh no, he's fucking doing the Dougie. Like, you don't hear that shit, man. Like, you hear Denzel's name at the beginning of the game, and that's it. Because there's a way that you conduct yourself when you go to a public setting, and there's certain ways you act. Denzel is from a different time. Denzel is from a different. He's not from this time. He's not one of these guys. who thrives on attention. It doesn't matter. Like when I watch these, like when I'm on YouTube and I see the ads for like TikTok, all that is just an app for people who just desperately wants attention. That's it, man. That's it. That's all it is, man. All this shit is about attention. That's why you'll see a Logan Paul at KSI. I mean, although I think KSI is pretty funny with some of the stuff he does. I mean, they thrive on attention. They thrive on it. This is what their business model is built on. Is built on that. And Drake doesn't give a fuck how he gets it. He just wants it. And as long as we sit here, and as long as you sit there, and we talk about him, it's what he wants.
Beyonce.
No.
Can you imagine that, Skip?
I don't think so.
I can't. I mean, it should be.
Beyonce being able to form a sentence to fucking attack somebody with it would be fucking impressive to me. I'm sorry.
And you know there's a difference. When the teacher call your parents, that's one thing. When the principal call, that's something entirely different. See, if someone in the league office would have had a conversation, Drake probably would have brushed that off. But Adam Silver, who's the best in the biz right now, as far
it doesn't matter. I think it holds. I agree with Shannon with the premise that it holds more weight that Adam Silver called. But if anybody from the league office calls, it should hold the same amount of weight as if the commissioner were to call you, because they're representing the commissioner, and that should be just as important. Because the commissioner, if you don't listen to his, I would think that Adam Silver would be a little more irritated if Drake dismissed his assistants. If as if Drake would have dismissed it, he would treat it as the same thing. You dismiss my assistants, that's almost the same as disrespecting me. So, and I believe he would have the ability to ban Drake from every fucking arena in the league. I would think that that's one of his jobs, being able to ban fans and being able to do things like that. I don't care who it is. Like, although he's paying more money, but there's a whole row of people that's sitting on his row that paid the same amount of money he did, unless he got his tickets for free, which you're not even paying. At that point, you're not a paying customer. If he got them for free, but if he paid his money, there are people that paid their money that's sitting on the same row that you're sitting on, or sitting behind you, that paid the same amount of money. Like, you're no special than anybody. Like, seriously, the only thing that's special about you is that half the world knows your name. That's it. That's it. Like, Drake needs to be treated like an actual fan. You gotta stop looking at this dude like a celebrity and look at him like he's a fan, because that's all he is in this situation.
Commissionership goes.
I give you that.
He called into the office. Hey, look here, bro.
Yeah.
There are lines. Although they're imaginary, you stepping over them.
Yeah.
Now I need you to act accordingly, or else. Or else.
What is or else?
He don't want to find out.
What? I'm going to send you to jail?
Don't worry about that. We're on. All that's under.
Oh, yeah, they do have a jail for fans. It's called being banned. That's what it's called. It's called banning you from arenas. Now, do I think Adam Silver would do something like that? Adam Silver, I would consider a millennial. He has the same thinking as these motherfuckers do. So he probably wouldn't go that far. But putting out there, hey, look, I had to talk with Drake. Drake agreed that he would calm down. Well, that's all he's going to do, man. That's all he's going to do.
It's a serious, Skip. You don't need to fight. See, your head was hard as a little boy. I can tell right now. See, your parents tell you something and you just got to go, oh, what you going to do, Mom?
I had no rules.
Yeah. That was the problem.
I know.
Now, see, now I got to put some rules down on you.
Yeah.
But hold on. I remember probably like a week ago, I thought Draymond said he wasn't paying Drake no mind.
He said that.
He said,
thank you for pointing that out.
He said Drake can't shoot no shots.
Yeah.
He can't make any passes.
He said
I'm
that.
not worried about Drake.
Aha.
And come to find out, walking off the court, he in Drake's face.
Interesting.
So, but I love the way he behaved. But let me tell you what's going to happen, Skip. I believe he might ratchet it up a little bit. Because game 2, they already got one game in pocket. So Drake, just remember what the commissioner said. We have lines, we have boundaries, and we need you to operate inside those boundaries, Skip Bayless. There's behavior, there's protocol that must be adhered to at all costs. The world is watching, Drake. Behave.
He knows it.
Okay, first things first. Let's go to the end. Post buzzer. Finally, Drake sprang back to life because until the buzzer,
You didn't know
he looked like he was in church the whole day.
Good.
He was in
Good.
church.
Good.
He
Good.
was pretty well behaved.
Well behaved. He was a zombie.
He wasn't no
He was a zombie the whole game.
I kept watching
He didn't even
him.
change expressions. He just sat in his seat.
He was nervous.
In fact, he kind of
True
shrank
fan.
down in his seat. He kind of like crouched
Watch.
down, like
He was
I'm not here.
nervous.
I'm not here.
Nervous.
Nobody sees me. I'm not here. I'm not Drake anymore. I'm just Joe Smith sitting here. I'm just somebody sitting watching the game. That's how he behaved the whole game. And it looked to me like, and I don't know this for a fact, it looked like Draymond started it. It looked like Draymond was leaving the floor and had to pass by Drake's seat. And at that point, because they had just won the basketball game,
Drake said something
he
else.
is standing up. No, I think Draymond said something first. Why would he say something? To take
No. Drake most likely said something first. And he probably didn't say anything super fucking controversial. He probably just said, "Hey, good game," or some shit like that. And it's. I'm sorry. Sometimes I tell people it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and in what context you're meaning what you say to be in. That can piss people off. You know, if somebody didn't have a good game and you come out and say, "Hey, yo, good game," especially when it's relating to their job, I mean, they can take offense to that, man, which would cause them to be a lot more aggressive than if you would say, "Hey, yo, good try out there," something like that. As generic as that is, but Draymond is known as being a hothead, so Drake could have just said "good game," and Draymond took that as, "Oh, he's trying to come at my neck" or some shit like that, and then he had to defend himself. I would have preferred Draymond to just ignore this shit altogether, honestly, because, like he said, Drake is not worth it's not worth the time. He's definitely not worth getting suspended for, and he's not worth getting fined over. And I think sometimes Draymond have a hard time with being able to just discern certain situations and come to the realization that you don't need to fucking respond to anything this dude says. You don't need to respond to anything that happens. Now, the problem with this whole situation, man, and I mean everybody that's on this screen right now, I'm talking Skip, Draymond, Drake, they're all trolls, man. They're all trolls. And trolls is this new term that people use, you know, for certain people who tend to agitate. They're pretty much agitators. Draymond is an agitator, Skip is an agitator, Drake is an agitator. And it's just, I don't know, man. I can't live my life being a troll, man. It's nothing. There's nothing that's going to come out of it for me. And that's me personally. I can't say that about anybody else. But, I mean, I don't know, man. This situation could have been avoided, honestly. But it's just nothing but a bunch of trolling, honestly. And I wanted to make a video about Skip and his trolling ways. And I think I'm going to do that a little bit later. But congratulations to Toronto. I think they played really well. They set a massive tone. And now the Golden State Warriors have to answer. And now this may be bringing Durant back early. And we'll see how that goes. All right, man, I'm out.